Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Chapter 8 of Black in Business HERstory, with an evening focused on social media influencers. I'm Justina Perry, founder and director of Buy Black NB.
And I'm Rihanna Grace. I'm a volunteer with the New Bedford Historical Society.
We are honored to co-host this Black in Business series and to share space with entrepreneurs you'll get to meet tonight. This is our 8th episode, and if you're new to HERstory, here's a little bit about what to expect. We'll be meeting some amazing women who are literally making history. Tonight, we'll meet Angel Light, Ariel Robert, and Danielle Andrews, all women based in New Bedford, here to share with us. From TikTok to Instagram to YouTube and more, there are creative people all over the world using the internet to connect with a variety of audiences, land brand deals, and become public figures. Tonight, our first guest is entrepreneur Angel Light. As a charismatic storyteller and resource for her online community, Angel enjoys sharing different parts of her life to inspire and encourage someone into their next season. Angel, you can join us on screen. Her content is authentic. Hello. I'll keep going. I want to tell the people all about you. Her content is authentic, engaging, uplifting, and intentional. Her brand consists of all things faith, lifestyle, travel, beauty, and more. With over 10 years of experience in social media and production, she works seamlessly both in front and behind the camera to create fruitful content, all the while staying sucker-free with her hand-poured, all-natural insect repellent. I actually started following Angel when another social media influencer tagged her sucker-free spray. That's how it works, right? And then I reached out to invite her to join our pop-up vendor market, and she's been a part of our local business network since. She's one of those people online that when she's talking, it feels like she's talking to you as her friend. And in person at our markets, her whole brand exuded life, and she's truly magnetic. So please join me in welcoming Angel.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you. I am so excited. I have to hit it with my signature tagline. I was talking to my husband's mentor today, and he was like, when I say hello, beautiful people, he just knows that's me. So hello, beautiful people. Justina and her amazing team, thank you so much for having me a part of this beautiful, beautiful event. I mean, when you reached out to me, I was truly honored because one, it's something I prayed about. I said, God, if you want me to share my story, if you want me to speak more, provide the opportunities, and I will say yes. And so I was so excited that you hit me up, and I was like, oh my gosh, what an amazing way to start my year with the Buy Black New Bedford team, because I am new to New Bedford. My husband and I just bought a house in New Bedford, and when I tell you I am absolutely in love with this beautiful city, this beautiful town, I mean, I couldn't have chose a better place to plant myself in this season. And so I'm going to give you guys a quick little about me before we jump into any of the amazing things Justina has planned. My name is Angel Ann Light. I am, as she said, all over social media. I love sharing my story. I love sharing different people's stories. I just love everything beauty, lifestyle. I love me some Jesus. And most importantly, I love encouraging others to do what makes them happy. I love encouraging women, especially, to be themselves, be authentic, both internally and externally, to just bring out that beauty they have within. My story begins really, I want to say, from probably the age of 4 or 5. My father had his own store growing up in Boston. It was a West Indian Caribbean supermarket. So I really give honor to my father for this entrepreneurial spirit that lives inside of me, because I was able to witness him and my mother start a business and be very successful with it for the time that they were. And then fast forward in high school, I remember I started doing modeling and I loved it, but for some reason I was one of those awkward kids growing up, so I was bullied, but I still found a way to still sit at the cool kids table. Don't know how, y'all can ask me about it another time. But I always had a problem with being in front of the camera when I was younger, especially since I was bullied. So I didn't really enjoy doing modeling as much, even though everyone was like, oh my gosh, you look great, you're so tall, you're this, you're that. And I'm just like, this is a bit much. But I love the deconstruction that I would do in my mind when it came to garments, especially clothing. I didn't grow up with the latest fashion. I didn't grow up with the most high-end sneakers. I didn't grow up with anything like that, but I loved looking at a garment and deconstructing it in my mind. And so I remember one day I asked my mom for a sewing machine. She was like, Angel, yes, let's grab you one. She bought one for me. She taught me a couple things, but once I got that sewing machine and some fabric, I took off running. I started my own fashion line when I was in high school. I want to say my junior year. And then from that, I was really gung-ho about it. But then I suffered a loss in my junior year of high school. I lost my father at the beginning of the school year, and it took a huge hit on my, grades. And if you know anything about schooling, junior year is like the most pressed year. And so my GPA took a hit. So I wanted to go to Mass Art, and instead I had to go to a community college to build that back up. Went to the community college, hated it. I am a supporter of education and higher education, but for me, it just wasn't for me. So I started to drop out. And I remember when I was dropping out, I was scared. I was super afraid because I had to tell my mom that I did not want to go to school anymore. And I remember when I had this conversation, she's a Guyanese mother. So if you're West Indian, or if you're just a child from an immigrant parent, you know the conversation, you know what could possibly happen with this type of conversation. But my mom responded with love and support. She said, Angel, I trust you. I believe in you. Whatever you want to do, I believe in you. And so from that day on, I pushed my fashion career. I was very successful. I've been in New York, Boston, fashion weeks. I've done shows in different colleges. I've had my bag full with that. With that, I was able to meet my mentor, who encouraged me to get some type of certificate under my belt, which led me to beauty school. And I became all things hair and beauty. I was always amazing at doing makeup and hair and photography. Because I was a fashion designer, I didn't really have a community of photographers, makeup artists, and hairstylists in hand. So when she said, get a beauty license, I said, sure, that's easy. I already know how to do it. I just need the education to back it. Got my beauty license and took off with that. Many of you guys may have known me from my like stage name, Kat Bahadur. But that was really where my story really catapulted, because I was able to start understanding who I was and start understanding what I was really passionate about. And it was more so, it was the beauty, it was the hair, it was the fashion, but it was more so how I made somebody feel when they sat in my chair or if they wore something I created. And so fast forward a whole bunch of years, I dropped the name, and I go by Angel now. I still do some of those things, but more so on the lifestyle aspect, because I am older. I am more in tune with what I like, what I don't like. And one thing that I can tell you that I love, as I said earlier, is encouraging people. Those other aspects of me help me just gravitate people towards my brand. And yeah, I hope that was enough to kind of launch the conversation. I am a talker, so Justina, I'm sorry if I talk more than 9 minutes.
Yeah, no, I loved hearing about how your memory of entrepreneurship with your parents, and how how they encouraged you to kind of follow your dreams. And I think that a lot of what we're doing here is working to provide that example for people. So maybe those who are looking to pursue this line of work, or content creation, or even just going out on their own with something, to kind of see like how that worked for you in your journey. So thank you for sharing about that. And I didn't know about the clothing design background that you have. So I did know about, do you do makeup? Do you do that also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know
like
you
literally, Justina, when I tell you everything for women as far as hair, makeup, clothes, fashion, as far as photography, videography,
okay.
I mean, even brand development, I love all of that.
Yeah. And I think even just from when I first started following you to now, it's like you have 10,000 more followers than when I first started tuning in.
Oh, so Justina, if you
amazing to watch that growth.
About followers. Oh my gosh, girl, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that another day. But
well, I did want to ask you, and maybe this is in line with what you're thinking about, because I was reading about shadow banning and kind of like these experiences that a lot of influencers are trying to navigate within the different platforms. Has that been something that you've experienced? And if so, what ways can people, let's say people who are tuning in here or want to know, like, how can I support Angel? Like, how, as a content creator, how do you want people to show up for you? Like, what's the best way to really support your brand?
Okay, so that's an amazing question. In regards to your first initial question about shadow banning, I would say there's a lot of talk about it. Me personally, I don't believe it. Only because I feel like if you're consistent at doing something, you will forever reap the benefits of it. The reason why I say that is, okay, Justina, right? If you take a seed and you put it in the ground and you water it, right? It will grow. Especially if you take your time to always go back to that seed, you water it, as it grows, you trim off the dead leaves and you keep tending to it, right? One day that seed produces fruit. Voila. It's the same thing with social media. If you guys go onto my social media right now, I haven't been posting as often as I would like, and I've seen a difference in my numbers because it's kind of like a TV show. When you know your favorite show's coming on at the same time every let's just say Tuesday, you're going to show up. Social media.
No, I'm like, I think she's on vacation. I saw you in your hand. I'm like, is she gonna be here tonight? So I'm glad. I mean, this is the perfect time to get out of Massachusetts and somewhere warm. So you and your husband had the right idea.
Yeah, no, I'm back now. I'm home and I'm happy to be back in New Bedford because when I tell you, first of all, if you're a business owner, if you want to be a business owner, you have to make sure you take time to rest so you can refuel and get better ideas, better strategic planning, and just all of that good stuff. This was my first time taking a month off and really just letting myself have that. And so now that I'm back, I'm like, consistency, focus. All of the goals that I have, I want to take to it. And to answer your second part of your question on how you guys can help support me, on my social media, I love engaging with people. And so like today, I created a couple of questions to ask the audience, more specifically, this audience right here, because I believe that our stories help propel the next woman to launch her story as far as even her personal story or even her business. And so if you go to my Instagram, it's @AngelAndLight. I'm pretty sure Buy Black New Bedford has tagged me, but I asked a couple of questions that kind of start the conversation within yourself, because Justina, I really believe in reflection, especially self-reflection, especially when it comes to becoming a business owner, because as a business owner, you have to reflect and you have to take inventory of every single thing, every single thing.
Yes. So I'm glad that you took that time, and excited to see what's coming for 2022. And I wanted to ask another question about, let's see, you said you're located in New Bedford now, and wondering how that influences how you show up online, and how does that impact like your content, your style, and how you engage with your audience now that you're in a new city? Okay,
so now that I'm here in New Bedford, the way it has impacted me is, one, I have the space. I lived in previously Central Falls, Rhode Island, and it was just a 2-bedroom like apartment. My husband owned income property.
Okay.
And so we had one bedroom for us, and then the other bedroom was for me, and it was my office. But as I told you, Justina, being a content creator, being a makeup artist, a hairstylist, and even a fashion designer, it's a lot of stuff in one room. And being here in New Bedford has been able to allow me to spread out more. So now I have my own studio, I have my own beauty room. My husband doesn't have to see any of my stuff because all I have to do is close the door. And it's also provided me a place to be able to receive peace. I love that New Bedford is on the coast. I love being able to walk near the water. I love that the Buy Black New Bedford community was so welcoming. When I went to my first pop-up, when I tell you, Justina, the way it made me feel like this is a good place to call home. Like, you were so incredible. The other businesses that were present were so incredible. My husband and I made so many new friends. Like, there was this digital artist there, Matt Hill, I believe his name is Matt Hill, and his wife. Oh my God, I love them so much. They are now part of our community. And just to know that New Bedford has that, I've learned so much about the culture. I've learned so much about different people. And so being able to see how the Black community is also thriving so much here really makes me feel settled, because as you know, there's a lot of things going on in the world, and it's hard to get a little peace of mind wherever you live, whether it's in the city or in the suburbs. And so New Bedford, for me, has provided a safe space where I can truly like go outside and feel like I'm not going to be like mentally disturbed, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And that's it's so cool to hear that, because in a way that's what we were trying to create without even knowing it, but just creating that sense of community and feeling like belonging, whether you're part of the Black community or an ally or somebody who really wants to support the Black business community. So I'm glad that you found a home here, and so glad that you made the time to join us this evening. I just want you to shout out all of your pages and let people know how they can connect with you so we can go follow you.
Awesome. Thank you again for this opportunity. I'm so excited to hear these beautiful women's story. You can follow me on Instagram at Angel and Light. It is the same as my YouTube, ANGELANNLYTE. That's on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm still trying to figure out the TikTok monster, but I'm on TikTok too. And also connect with me on my website. If you have any questions on how to launch your brand, if you want to have a makeover, whatever it is, I'm your point person. If I don't know how to do it, I will point you in the direction. I see that we have an amazing stylist here. And so y'all connect with me. I'll connect you to people, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm just excited to connect.
What an amazing resource and an amazing addition you are to our city. So thank you again for joining us. Wishing you all good things for 2022.